Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Grand Finals of Amateur Weekend Cup September. This is Game 1 TSG versus Zykon Esports, and as always, myself and Zelith will be bringing you the coverage. And Zelith, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well. Been eagerly waiting this grand final match here between both of these teams. We saw some great play from TSG, who were up against A-Stack in the previous game in the semis, and Zykon, of course, were up against You Only Live Once. They took that 2-0, TSG taking it 2-1. So both of these teams, the band's coming out very quickly actually, but yeah, both of these teams just really jumping right into it. You also see Zykon picking up that Nature's Prophet, which is very common for them. The bands, Darkseer, Batrider, Alchemist, Lifesteal are relatively common.
Yeah, that's for sure. And both teams, they should know how. I believe Zykon Esports got to watch TSG and how they like to play. So Zykon may have a strategy to go up against TSG. TSG, they were in a very long, drawn-out best-of-3 match, so they may be a little bit fatigued coming into this match, and Zykon may be able to take advantage in it. But then, any good team, they should be able to push on through it and be able to try and take this game. So, TSG, they will be looking, they do pick up the Weaver, they played a great Weaver last game. One of the reasons why they were able to take away the victory. And there's still an OD left in the pool. They like their OD, will they pick it up?
Yeah, I'm quite curious to see if I'll be surprised if OD doesn't get picked up by either side. I mean, OD is just he's so powerful in mid. There's very few heroes that can really go toe to toe with the OD. So an OD pickup would work for either side. Zykon, they're not the ones who usually pick up an OD. Um, and we do see that Visage pick up Zykon, of course. They want to grab those supports that they just love to play, and would rather go for that instead of pick up something like an OD, which is a little bit unusual to their style. We have seen them play it, but it's not part of their standard.
Yeah, I think they just want to keep their standard, as you said, because if you deviate away from that in the grand finals, that can cost you the best-of-3. And so they will be picking up the Visage. If TSG know how Zykon like to play, we should see a Bane being taken out very shortly. And TSG actually pick up a Naga Siren. I like this Naga Siren. She allows your team to disengage, get away, or engage a team out of nowhere, set your team up for further. Usually, recently this tournament, I should say, we've seen Naga Siren combined with the Magnus quite often. So I'm not saying we could see a Magnus. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do, because Naga Siren and the Magnus. Even a Jakiro would be fantastic. You can line up your Ice Path to hit multiple heroes and set up with a Macropire. But Naga Siren just offers your team a lot of positioning in fights to either start them or to be able to retreat.
Yeah, that's certainly true, and I'd quite, as you were saying with the Magnus one, I'm quite curious to see if they do pick up some more of those wombo combo heroes. Not necessarily just the Magnus or the Jakiro, even some other potential heroes like the Tide Hunter if they want to roll him, for example, or something else. They ban out the Wisp here, and I'm not so sure about this. If you're not banning out the Wisp in the first phase and he doesn't get picked up in the first phase, I doubt the other opposing team is going to even be going for a Wisp play. So I feel like that's a bit of a wasted ban there by TSG. We do see the Dragon Knight get banned out here by Zykon Esports. I wonder if that sort of reveals their hand a little bit. We also see TA, and there we go, Zykon just picks up that Bane pretty much instantly. That's nothing surprising there from them, but TSG, it looks like they want to maybe grab some early kills with the Nagasire and Gyrocopter and Ruby combo. Quite powerful there, of course. Lots of lockdown, ensuring heroes can't move around, while Gyrocopter just beats them down with Rocket Barrage.
I can't blame TSG for banning IO out though. I mean, they might not know how Zykon Esports like to play, and if you see a Nature's Prophet get first picked, you will potentially think that they want to have 3 heroes anywhere on the map at any time. I mean, if you have an Eye, you can bring a third person, and Nature's Prophet and those two can go anywhere, pick you off at any time. So I feel as if TSG don't quite know Zykon Esports' lineup, so that's why they did take out the IO. And as we've seen, we see the Bane and Luna, so they're going for the complete traditional pickup of their lineup, which I quite enjoy. They know how to play this solidly. We'll see who they will pick up for their mid to go on. Luna offers a lot of burst damage. It combos well with Bane. Nightmare into that Lucent Beam, it will do a lot of damage and break them out, and then you can continue to engage with the Visage, with the Grave Chill, and finally the Soul Assumption, so they can find those kills quite easily. Especially if that Weaver is caught out, they can possibly make him pay quite heavily early on with one Sentry Ward, even a little bit of Dust. Hold that Weaver out as long as possible to stop him from getting to level 6, and you'll have the advantage into this mid game.
Yeah, I mean this Luna combo with the Visage and Bane. This is basically Zykon's bread and butter. This is what they love to play. I think this is the sort of lineup they feel most comfortable with. Whoa, Elden Titan
Oh
getting
my
last
god.
picked here by TSG. This is interesting. I mean, I have not seen Elder really played at all. I haven't seen him throughout this tournament, but I haven't seen him get picked up too much in other tournaments either. The Abaddon and my god, the Troll Warlord are the two new heroes to Captain's Mode that get picked up more often than not. So yeah, I'm quite curious. Elder Titan's a good hero as well, and it will work well with this Naga Siren and Gyrocopter. So there's a lot of potential to set up some big plays here by TSG.
That there is, and this is going to be fun to watch. I mean, as you said, Elder Titan has not been touched in competitive play to our knowledge, so we'll see how well they can run him. It should be interesting to see where they're going to run him, because by the looks of it, he will be anywhere. He could, because I mean, you have Nagastar and Rook, they're your dedicated supports. You would presume that Gyrocopter would be part of that tri-lane, Weaver in that off lane, and then Elder Titan in mid, but then that just seems so strange that it couldn't work. Maybe they run the Gyrocopter in that mid lane, have Elder Titan part of that tri-lane, and get Naga Siren farmed up, so they have potential 3 carries on the board with an Elder Titan wombo combo to come up. It's going to be really strange, or really interesting to see how TSG want to run this lineup, and how greedy they decide to go because of this lineup.
Yeah, one thing that's a little bit strange here is I'm assuming they're going to put this Weaver in the off lane. I don't think a Weaver mid will really work too well, regardless of what Zykon pick up. I think Weaver solo off lane or just solo safe lane, and I probably would say just the offlane would be a better choice. Zykon can still maybe catch that Weaver off guard, even if they just by placing a sentry. The other thing is Weaver Shikuchi, even with a sentry placement, still moves incredibly fast. I mean, super speedy hero, and it's actually going to be a conquer in mid. What I'm thinking though is it looks like they're going to play this Elder Titan in mid, which is not too surprising. You want your Elder Titan to get those levels as quickly as possible, and maybe start making some plays around the map, and that's going to really help them. Elder Titan's not a hero who really loves to jump in himself. He likes to send out his spirit to set up those. What's that stomp actually called? Echo Stomp. That's the one. And yeah, just because the sleep is so long, it allows the rest of your allies to just move in and set everything else up.
This is just going to be one pain in the rear lineup for Zykon. I mean, you have Naga Siren, she'll put you all to sleep. Elder Titan will put you to sleep. And then, once you see that Earth Splitter come in from Elder Titan, you can't do anything. Once that Naga Siren song's finally coming off, boom, you're going to get hit for 30%, I think it is, your max health. So 35% of your HP, max HP is damage. And that at the start of the game, doesn't matter how tanky you are, you're going to become squishy and you're going to be ripped through shreds. And if that all can be set up by TSG, we could see a very strong hero emerge into the competitive scene. And to introduce the teams over on the side of Zykon, you have the Captain Dragon playing on the Luna. The supports will be Mr. Apollo Jr. and Erikid on Visage and Bane, Blood Drunk on that Conquer, and finally Eduardo on his signature hero of the Nature's Prophet.
And on this side of TSG, we do have their captain playing the Elder Titan. It would be a fix. Miley Zero is on that Gyrocopter, and Baskip, the stand-in, is on the Naga Siren. Since we were playing the Weaver, and last but not least, we have LMK Guy on that Rubik.
And so both teams run into the opposite sides of the map, hoping to find out their potential killing offlane target. And Zykon throwing down their aggressive lane ward in a little bit different position than usual. They expect Weaver to be aggressive or trying to come up close when Weaver does eventually rotate down here. So I kind of like this ward with this modification of their ward. They know who they're up against and they just slightly make little adjustments to what their usual play is, and it'll just be more effective and beneficial for them in the long run.
I actually gotta say, just very quickly, that Eduardo just playing very smart. That he popped his trains immediately just before everyone was moving into the lanes, and just did some scouting with them just to see where the enemies were. And that is so smart. He did it both in the top lane and the bottom lane. Now, of course, he's just going to use his trains to try a block and whatnot, which is pretty much what he does as standard. And that is so useful. You know, said about how Eduardo loves to do this sort of play every single game, and he does it so well. At times it's so perfectly, and he's going to pull these creeps, or try to pull them at the very least,
And
so that
yeah,
way he ensures that he still gets some experience.
and yeah, and then he also has that one creep already waiting to block the camp, and he gets it off. And there's nothing TSG can do about it. He plays absolutely fantastic. Now this train's just going to walk around like nothing's ever happened. He's going to try and run it to the other side of the creep camp, and if they just leave it there, he'll be able to get another block off. I mean, it's a 20-second cooldown still left on that train. He's going to rotate back around, he's going to try and find a block. I mean, it's... To some people this isn't exciting, but this can be extremely beneficial, and actually at the same time, we get an absolute demolishment from that tri-lane. You expected it, you have that Nightmare, you have the Soul Assumption, well actually the Grave Chill, and the Luna, and Weaver, because he's so squishy, and he was just trying to be aggressive to find these XP that he needs, he's going to get picked off. And now after that, he's going to probably be ridiculously defensive, and not even going to get any XP out of this lane.
Well, it's actually really surprising that wasn't even a Lucent Beam here from Luna. It was just right clicks from the Luna Blessing. You know, generally, if you're gonna see your first blood that quickly with a Luna in there, you'd see a Lucent Beam being popped. That was just right clicks. That was insane amounts of damage, and this will have to put Sensui more in a defensive position.
And I don't know, I don't think he'll be happy anymore. Like, I don't think he was happy in the first place going up get these tri-lane heroes, but after that first blood, and as you said, it shouldn't have happened. He's not going to be able to do anything now. He's going to retreat. And one thing we've got to point out, Elder Titan in mid lane. I mean, we kind of expected it, but I don't know, it's strange. It's up against the Conquer, and it's actually doing very, very solid. He's got the damage against Bloodrunk. Bloodrunk's pretty low. He does have some bottle charges if he does need to use it, which we should see him use quite soon, but it's a very strange lineup to go against. An Elder Titan and Conquer, and Elder Titan's coming out ahead with more creep kills by almost double.
Yeah, it's actually a big deal because generally we see Bloodrunk doing very well regardless of the situation in mid, but he's actually being forced to play on the defensive, and Aphex is just playing this Elder Titan perfectly. You know, he's sending out those spirits, doing so much harassment onto Bloodrunk, but also ensuring that he gets some of those last hits on the creeps with it as well. He's playing superbly here.
And I like how he's also leveling up his natural order a bit. He doesn't want to level up Echo Stomp. He doesn't believe he needs it quite now. But he's leveling up his passive to get that armor reduction of both magic and physical on top of that Conquer. So every time he throws down his Ancestral Spirit, he does a lot of damage to Bloodrunk. And Bloodrunk's trying to come in a little bit. He's got to be careful because Aphex is just going to auto attack him, and he hits him for so much damage purely because of that negative base armor. And Conquer just has to be careful, or he will be found dead to Aphex very soon.
Yeah, and he's got his bottle now as well, so this is going
Down
to
on
help
bottom
him
lane, I think we
spam
might
that
be seeing.
spirit, so
Sorry. Well, we thought we were going to see a kill there. They got in time with the Nightmare, but they just didn't decide to go for it. So sorry about that.
no, it's all good. Yeah, it looked like they were. I feel like they were just the rest of them were a little bit like Dragon was a bit too far back, and they decided it's probably not worth the hassle to try and jump on Sensui there. Because if you you have to sort of time everything perfectly to get the jump on him. If you sort of mistime it and whatnot, he could just Shikuchi and get back to the tower very quickly, which he was relatively close to the tower anyway, and you don't really want to push too far into the lane either. You don't want to take tower hits for nothing.
And now we go into this little bit of a passive farm game. Eduardo, he's working towards his Midas. I mean, he's about a KO for. It's not too bad timing, but he will have it a little bit late. On Eduardo's time anyway, he can usually grab it out around the 6-minute mark. I mean, it's not saying he still can't, but just the way the farm's going in the jungle, I think it will be a little late for his standards. And then we actually have a smoke up by Zykon, and the support's rotating through the river, but they don't have a Conquer here to help him out. So they're just going to have to sit here and just wait till that Conquer eventually gets back to from the fountain. so he's going to have to TP in, and then we could possibly see a kill. We got Erikid, he actually walks in, he nightmares, they still don't have the Conquer. Conquer's going to finally start TPing in. Courier comes in, they almost pick up the Courier. Will Eduardo go for the Courier? No, he won't, he'll turn around, he'll go for Affix. Affix is doing a lot of damage to Erikid. Soul Assumption, and crunch, there goes the Elder Tide, and Sensei comes on in. He's going to just walk around, maybe soak in some XP, get some levels up now that he's got a lane to himself up against Blood Drunk. But once again, he's still got to be careful of Blood Drunk, as Blood Drunk is 3 levels higher.
Yeah, that Tidebringer hits are just doing so much damage to him so far. And Sensui, I feel like he'll probably move out soon, because yeah, he's taking just so much damage at the moment, and there's nothing he can do. He's just going to end up having to pop some consumables. That was an excellent jump there by Zykon. It's pretty much their sort of bread and butter, as we were saying before. They just love those plays, and it was perfectly timed once again. Level 3, they just do it.
And they've just got it down to like pinpoint precision, and they make little adjustments to require to what's on the sides. Like, FX did get a little bit out of position. They did lose the vision of where these two supports are. I mean, you do expect them to be in the jungle, but if they're not in the, if they don't show their face anywhere around in that jungle for a little bit, when you have your Sakuchi and Weaver down here, you should expect that they're smoked up and they're trying to find big plays, especially from the Zykon team. And now Zykon, these supports, they're about to hit level 4, and when they hit level 4, I wouldn't be too surprised if once again they pick up another smoke and go roaming again and just shut down this Elder Titan, because Elder Titan, if he can get early farm early on, you have a lot of mana on him, you have a lot of burst damage, you can set things up for your side, and you've got 2 initiation abilities for your side. You have your Elder Titan with his Stomp and Sleep, and you also have your Naga Siren. The more initiation, especially what those two offer you with the Sleep, the better it is for your side.
Yeah, and you know, the Elder Titan played by Affix here, he's still doing very well in this mid lane. He's just about to hit level 7, and compared to Bloodrunk, he's still out leveling him. And you know, considering that Affix did die early on, that's still a big deal. And we do have a smoke gang coming now from TSG, so it looks like it might be Bloodrunk who gets caught out this time. Ooh, moving into the jungle.
He got very lucky. He's like, hey, look,
rune.
a rune, I'm out of here. And Heather supports are just going to be sitting there for a while. They may suspect that Conker thinks something's up, even though he has absolutely no idea. And Bane sitting on the side. It is nighttime vision, so we might see a Bane go on Affix here, and this could be a little bit of a problem here. We got the Bane and the Nightmare. We have the Torrent being set up. Torrent lands. We have Soul Assumption very shortly. Should pick off Affix. Affix does get his Earth Splitter off. Will land on anyone, though. It will land onto 2 heroes. Not enough. Soul Assumption once again coming out, finding a second kill. Nice TP in by Eduardo. They've got the Sprout. LMK guy will fall, and that's a double kill to Nature's Prophet. And what I said about a slow Midas, he's got his Midas now at the 7-minute mark.
That was a very big play there by Zykon. You know, they jumped on FX. They didn't know about the supports there from TSG, but it didn't. The supports were just too far away to help FX. By the time the supports came in, he was pretty much already dead. And then Zykon could just continue turning around and get those extra kills. So it was very unfortunate for TSG. What essentially happened was they were very unlucky. For example, if that Rune was in the top side of the river, and Bloodrunk moved up there, it would have been TSG who just got a free kill on Bloodrunk. But instead, it was in bottom. He managed to pick up a double damage, and then just went back into mid, and they found 3 very easy kills.
Yeah, and now we have Erikid. He's looking to go on this Weaver once again. He's just outside of this vision range, and I think Mr. Polo Jr. just revealed himself. So he sees the Visage, and he knows the Bane will probably be around. And in mid lane, actually, we might see an initiation of Conquer. No, we didn't. The Stomp wasn't popped off, so they didn't find that little spot on Conquer. Naga Siren will throw down a ward to give some vision to that Elder Titan, so they can see any potential wraparounds again onto that Elder Titan. And Naga Siren's just going to walk on, spot out the regen for Elder Titan. He's just going to pick it up without too much hassle.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job here to pick up some of these runes as well. Not just to ensure that Bloodrunk doesn't get them all. Affix, you know, now with his 2 deaths, unfortunately he's not doing as well as he was before. He's still sitting on 34 last hits, which for a mid hero, if he's died twice, is pretty decent, but it's not doing as well as he was before. What I gotta say though is that Gyrocopter in this top lane is doing extremely well. 62 last hits. It's a considerable amount higher than Luna, who, you know, does have a, I believe it was an assist to her name, or is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it is an assist to her name, which just gives a bit of gold, but yeah, Gyrocopter doing very well to pick up as many last hits as he can, and a free farm Gyrocopter is deadly. Generally, they consider Gyrocopter just a better version of Luna.
And I do agree with picking up this Morbid Mask and going into that helm with the Dominator, as if you can start getting some stacks up as that Gyrocopter, you can farm creeps really, really easily with that flat cannon. You've got that life gen. Actually, we have a TP? No, we don't. We had a Nature's Prophet potentially going down bottom to try and find that Weaver out of position. Weaver still does not have his time lapse, so he's still a very, very easy target. Well, not easy target, but in Weaver standards, he's a pretty easy target. Torrent's going to miss in mid lane, and Affix is going to walk on out of there. But Bloodtrunk, he's having a very hard time. He's got 3 assists, but this, oh, I can't believe I forgot his name. This Elder Titan is just not letting Bloodtrunk have an easy time, and well, you can just see if the last hits and the amount of damage output that's coming onto Bloodtrunk.
Yeah, I mean, this Valentine used up a lot of his mana, but he still has a regeneration rune, as well as after that he'll have his 3 stacks, of course, of the bottle, and he can just keep harassing as much as he wants to. He's doing so well. I wouldn't be surprised if Aphix starts roaming though. He is level 8. I feel like maybe he can start setting up some plays in some of the other lanes, because his abilities just are so great for those team fights. But I feel like, well, at the very least, it feels like they're going to wait for these supports to get a few more levels and for this Gyrocopter to come online just a little bit more.
I really like what Affix is doing with his Astral Spirit. He's not only using it to harass Bloodtrunk down, but he's walking it around the jungle, walking around all the premises to make sure if he can see any enemies or any heroes on Zykon just walking around out of position or trying to come for him. It's a nice scouting tool, and it also does a very considerable amount of damage. It's 240 damage just by walking through, and it gives bonus heroes buffs, so it's a very useful ability. And he's just using it to the fullest, which I quite like how he's going. I mean, he's on the score, but he's not doing that great, but he's playing him mechanically correct. So that's all you can ask for at this stage. And down on bottom, the Eclipse just pops off the Weaver. There's nothing the Weaver could do about that. And it wasn't even a Fiend script expended to do that.
Yeah, well, when the Weaver's under a sentry, you don't need to really pop too much. They have a lot of disables as well. It was only the Bane and the Luna there, Visage up in top, just trying to defend and ensure that they don't get that early tier 1 tower kills. But it looks like Zykon, they want to take this early tier 1.
And we see the Earth Splitter and the Stomp completely missing, unfortunately. And that's going to be a big cooldown that is now wasted. LMK guy will get hit with a Nightmare to the face, just to be annoying as they retreat. But luckily, they do get the deny of the tower. So it was worth it. They did pop that Earth Splitter, but they wouldn't have used it any other time at the moment. So nice little cooldown to get that deny.
Yeah, it's also not a huge cooldown on the skill. It's 100 seconds, which compared to some other teamfight abilities is not too bad. We still continue, in this time as well though, we got to say that TSG have done a good job up in top as well. They've brought this tower down to low. They probably just need one push with 2-3 heroes and they should be able to bring that down. Which is a good play. Zykon love to take the early tier 1 towers. Oh, actually there was a kill there in the river, I believe. Sorry, I missed that. But yeah, Zykon love to take those early tier 1 towers, and it's good to see that TSG are contesting that as well.
Yeah, it was all typical play from a Conquer. 2 levels of X-Master spot onto a Torrent and Boat, and Rubik had nowhere to go, especially if he's very squishy health of 587 with the 1 armor. So Conquer just completely destroyed him and just crunched him like he was a piece of paper. And now Sensui on the Weavers come back into the mid trying to find whatever he can. He's trying to find where he can find his level 6, and at the moment there's no place on the map safe enough for that level 6. I mean, you could try and go into the jungle and maybe get it off the easy camps, maybe work on a little bit harder camps, but he's struggling. And this is one of the great things. If Zykon can make this Weaver struggle, it's going to take so much longer for him to try and reach his potential. And Weaver doesn't reach his potential until he has at least a Lincoln Sphere, which is defensive, so he can continue to be evasive, or until he picks up a Desolator to start throwing out some damage. If he doesn't have either of those 2 items, or the levels to follow them, or to back those items up, he's absolutely useless.
That's very true there, and I want to give this Weaver a hug. He's trying his hardest to get as much as he can, but he's just been shut down so well by this group
And we
of
have actually initiation
from
onto
Zykon.
Elder
It looks like
Titan,
a
the
jump.
X-Master spot onto the torrent. Few hits. The familiar stun's a little bit out of times, but it doesn't matter. They will find the kill. Naga Siren coming in. Cooldown is popped. Will they find the damage? It will land on Iroket. He runs in with that rocket barrage. Will he be able to find the kill? And Ira is still running for his life, and they're going to turn around. Familiar's doing a lot of damage to chase around those heroes. Nightmare comes out onto Basket, but then Sensoi comes in, starts attacking Mr. Polo Jr. Mr. Polo Jr. doesn't throw out that soul assumption, but the Lucent Beam comes and picks off that gyrocopter instead, and that's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Zykon.
And another big pick-off, and once again, AWC picked off, which is very unfortunate. I mean, he's still doing very well in this game, but it's just very unfortunate that that Zykon here, they rotate very well and they just get the jump, which is plays that they've made every single game that they've played today, and it's something that they're very well known for, I guess. They do it so well. They lost the Visage there, which is a little bit unfortunate, but when you picked off an Elder Titan, it's totally worth it.
And Kunker just using one of his illusions to bait out a lift from LMK guy and Affix's stomp. And he's just waiting on the wings, waiting for them to just overextend a little bit. X-Max's spot, boat torrent would have been probably more than enough to kill off the LMK guy and maybe put Affix in a little bit of pressure. And now we have a TP spot coming in from Visage. They're looking to find something right now. There's no Bane around, but they don't need the Bane. Blood Drunk, he's ready to find a kill himself. So TSG have to be extremely careful while this daytime's still up. Nighttime, I would like to see TSG try and get into a smoke and start wrapping around in the jungle, because I mean, this Luna, she hasn't left the bottom lane. She's either in the jungle or pushing the bottom. So if you can get a smoke into this jungle and find a kill on that Luna, that would be big.
That's certainly true there. We do have, I mean, Affix is doing so well, despite, you know, dying 3 times. He's still putting Blood Drunk in a situation that he does not want to be in, and you know, he's 500 gold behind, or a little bit more now in terms of net worth, but that's not too bad considering those 3 deaths. He's actually playing this very well. It looks like he's trying to go for the nice spirit just to pop it off, ensure that he doesn't get jumped on here. And yeah, it's just, he's just playing this Elder Titan so well.
And we got Dragon. He's got a massive stack using the Centaur to tank it. And now he's got Eduardo here, and he's going to easily be able to clean this up. So these two are going to get a lot of gold. Eduardo's going for a Shadow Blade. Kunker's going for a Shadow Blade. He's actually taking a lot of damage from Mud Golems. Not going to die, but Scumbag Mud Golems just being a pain. But if one of the problems, I think, if Zykon go for too many Shadow Blades, like they'll have 2 Shadow Blades up in the field, it does force TSG to start buying Revelations, but those Sentry Wards will be just that much more effective. I mean, you put 1 down, you can possibly find 2 heroes. You have Revelation for those 2 heroes, and maybe if Luna, which I don't think Dragon likes to do, if she decides to rotate into that Shadow Blade route. However, she does pick up her Yoshi and start working towards her BKB. Once she has that BKB up, she's got to be extremely careful. If Naga Siren pops her song while BKB is popped on Dragon, he will die. They'll have 5 heroes specifically attacking him, and they can team focus him down, and then Zykon could lose the fight. But BKB, if used correctly, he'll just be able to stand there and rip through TSG.
Yeah, that's true. The one thing, it probably won't do a lot of damage to his Gyrocopter once he gets his own BKB up, which he's working towards as well. He's already got the Ogre Club 1.3k, which means he'll have his Mithril Hammer soon as well. But the other thing that it does do is, and you know, there's also the Rubik who, once he gets his downfield, will lower the damage, but it's still a lot of damage, it's still a lot of AoE presence, and when you combine it with things like the Kunker's Boat, Torrent, some stuns maybe from the Visage Familiars, it can deal a ton of damage in a good area. I'm not sure, I don't think the Familiars as well from Visage actually get put to sleep. I think they can freely roam around during a Siren's ultimate.
That would be correct.
Which can cause a little bit of havoc, you know, setting up some nice stuns can maybe disrupt the initiation when if they try to initiate with the song. But yeah, Affix is still playing so well with his actual spirit, doing so well to scout out the area, make sure there's no one around if they decide to go in, and it's just causing a lot of chip damage to this tier 1 tower. And if they are able to pick up this tier 1 tower
We
before
might see a dead
Zykon,
Gyrocopter very short. We got Iroket, he throws out the Fiend's Grip, and they will easily pick off that Gyrocopter. Top lane TP support is not going to be enough. And that's what I loved about Zykon then. It hit nighttime, they smoked up. They grouped together and they took away. This is what I said TSG should do. Instead, Zykon did it, and they found themselves a kill at top lane. So very well played coming out by Zykon there. And now they're going to get tier 1. Affix is just going to try and a little bit of harassment, may even try and stomp to get a little sleep and try and slow down that push. And there comes the Earth Splitter. Will it find much damage? No, it won't. Everyone dodges it like it's a piece of cake. And then now this tier 1 tower will go down. And now TSG, they're on the run. They're looking for basket. Can we see an X marks the spot? X marks the spot's too far away. We may even see a lucky torrent if... No, we won't. So, just a little damage. Erikid's going to be in a lot of trouble. He luckily didn't get hit by that swarm. If that swarm had hit, he would have been chased down. But they got the stun. And then few familiars are coming down. The Eclipse has popped. A lot of damage. Basket will fall. LMK guy will fall. Sensor's trying to run out of there. Cooldown has been thrown down. We might see Death of Dragon. Yes, we do. There goes some Centaur Eclipse. It's 3 for 2. TSG are turning this fight around. Eduardo's on the run in their invisibility state. And Kunkka, he's already nowhere to be seen. So, nice turnaround by TSG. It looks like all grim, doom and gloom, but they turn around for nice, well-timed cooldown and sleep coming out from the Elder Titan.
Yeah, that was a great echo stomp there from him. Caught 3 heroes, I believe, in there, and it just allowed the rest of them to follow up with some great initiation. Weaver as well, popping a good time lapse there to ensure that stays alive and does a ton of damage as well. But yeah, it was a great turnaround. They still lost the tier 1 tower, and they still lost their Gyrocopter, which does hurt in the long run. But it's certainly a nice pickup that they won't be complaining about.
And LMK guy, he hit level 7 in that recent fight, so that's going to help him out a little bit with that more burst damage coming from his Fade Bolt. I haven't seen him pick up any big abilities so far, let alone any noticeable abilities, so sorry about that LMK guy if you've been picking up any major abilities. And now they've got a nice ward up on this ramp. They saw the rotation of the Kunkka going through then before he Shadow Bladed it up, and it's a nice little aggressive ward. You can see heroes rotate through the jungle. If you see a hero rotate through there, you can possibly go for a smoke up, rotate in there yourself and try and find a kill, especially if Dragon's in there. He's also got his troll creep already stacking that Ancient's camp, so he's very on the ball today, trying to get as much gold from this jungle as possible, and that's going to help him out more. I mean, he's already got a Manta style waiting for him in the fountain.
Yeah, there's some already dragons working on those big items compared to the Gyrocopter, who's still working on his BKB, and he does need to finish it before the game, like, so he can work towards some of his right click damage, because BKB is excellent and it'll work great coming into these team fights, but he also does need that right click damage to pick off the side of Zykon very, very quickly. Yeah, Flat Cannon is great, but if you're not dealing too much, then unfortunately, I mean, it works well, particularly when you have an Elder Titan in there as well, just because of the reduction due to the passive. But yeah, he will need to pick up some more damage.
We may see a kill onto the Rubik here. Invisible, blood drunk, and he's going to get thrown onto a cliff. No, he won't. And now the Eclipse has popped. LMK guy will fall. It does put the heroes to sleep, and the turnaround is coming. Cooldown is being popped. Ensnare. He tries to Manta style out of it, but he gets burnt down. Erikid's now trying to turn around. He pops his brain sap to keep him alive a little bit longer. Will be enough. Familiars are just going to fly and pass. They're not even going to try and stun. Phoenix gets pulled down, but he gets hit by the rocket. It will break. And then Mr. Polo Jr. tries to do whatever he can. Soul Assumption will not be enough to pick off Affix. Familiars are trying to chase him down. Not going to happen. Gyrocopter picks up a double kill. He's chasing down Eduardo. Eduardo's got the Shadow Blade in 1 second. He's going to turn around. Kunkka's still here to try and take this fight. X must spot onto the torrent. Familiar's stunned to lock them into place. And they will at least turn that around. Double damage Kunkka picking up 2 kills of his own.
I feel like he just stayed there a little bit too long there, the Gyrocopter, and now that's a bit painful, because if the Gyrocopter got out alive, that would have been a big deal for TSG. They would have gotten a few kills. They would have only lost the Rubik and the Nug Siren, but yeah, that was a bit harsh in the end there. It ended up being 3 for 3, I believe. Still, you took out the Luna very early, which is a big deal, but...
We got a boat coming in at the top lane. Yeah. Boat's gonna land onto the torrent. X-Master spot's there, but we do have a time lapse, so it's not gonna matter too much. He's just gonna time lapse and walk away. But it was a little bit of nice damage to try and force that Weaver out of there, make that time lapse pop, and try and get any little money you can out of him, but not gonna be able to find a kill though. And
yeah, if he had a sentry or something, he probably could have gone with a last right click.
Yeah, and as of that stat that just came up with the Manta style being picked up on Luna, that is a it's a nice time in Manta, but I think if she went for the BKB instead, she would be in a better position. As you saw that last fight, she just got burst down by so much magic damage coming up from the Elder Titan, the Rubik's Fade Bolt, Gyrocopter. There's just so much damage that came out, and that Manta Style did absolutely nothing. I mean, you can't Manta Style to get out of the Ensnare because it's a physical ability, so you still get locked into place. If you did have that BKB, you would still be locked into place with the Ensnare, but you'd still be able to stand there and tank it up because you are magic immune. So I feel as if this Manta Style isn't the best of choices. It does help split push, but at the moment, that's not what they need. They already have a Nature's Prophet, and both sides, they're eyeing each other off from the next door. One's on the target ground. Will Zykon be able to take advantage? We see a Nightmare being thrown out. LMK's going to get hit to the face with a boat. Son of the Siren's being popped out, and the Familiars are walking around trying to find a stun to show of any heroes. Will they be able to get one? They will not be able to stun any heroes, and it's still going to be on the chase. Will the Torrent be able to land on him? Will Blooddrawn throw out the Torrent to start off with? No, he won't. TP going out for that Weaver to go down onto bottom lane, and Eduardo still trying to find it. He gets a sprout. They find Basket. Does he have any support to catch up to him? No, he doesn't. It was a nice spot out. He's ran in. He's going to get the TP. Will he be able to get out of there? Yes, he does. Using that vision of the Roshan pit so effectively, and he gets on out of there. So very well played by that Naga Siren.
Yeah, extremely smart. Unfortunately, for TSG, their smoke just got destroyed by the Shadowblade Kunkka when they were trying to engage, and from then on, it was a bit of an awkward engagement for them. They had to end up backing off. All the time though, what I noticed there was with his spirit, he hit so many heroes, a lot of creeps as well, and it ended up giving him plus 260 damage. Now, if that happens in a team fight and he has plus 260 damage, and if he gets a good Echo Stomp off, he is going to destroy the enemy side, because the side from Zykon here, they're not exactly tanky. You know, Luna doesn't have a lot of health. Kunkka's probably the tankiest hero on their lineup, so it's going to be a big plays once they start doing a lot of these team fights. It looks like they're just going to go for this bottom tier 1 tower now.
And we have the Gyrocopter. He was thinking about going through the jungle. That could have been the worst move he ever made in his life. But he's going to rotate back around into the lane. Mr. Polo Jr. is coming from behind. Affix is caught out of position. He takes a Lucent Beam. He's going to take an Eclipse. He will fall. BKB is popped by Mile Zero. He's standing there. Cool lands onto 2. The Rocket Barrage will pick off Dragon. That's 3 heroes dead on TSG. 1 dead on Zykon. Luna has been picked off. That's 4 heroes down. Weaver is standing in there on the Nightmare. They've got a Sentry Ward down. And that should be his death. He will fall. Nice play coming out by Zykon. Getting the team wipe. And now they're going to be moving towards this bottom lane. And we should see Nature's Prophet, as he's already starting to TP to middle lane, and he's going to start working at chipping on this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, massive play there by Zykon. TSG, they weren't all there at the time when the engagement happened, and because of that, they weren't able to throw any combos. We saw Afix die there before he got pretty much anything off, you know. If he survived there for quite a while, allowed him, and he was able to set up a good Echo Stomp, a good ulti of his. The fight could have gone much better for TSG, but unfortunately, they weren't ready for that engagement, and Zykon just capitalizing on.
TSG got a consolation prize at least. They got the Radiance Courier, did go down in that last engagement, so I don't think there was anything on that courier. I wish there was an easier way to check what was on the courier, but it was a nice consolation prize. At least they got a courier. That counts as a hero in my books.
Yeah, Cure pick is always nice, and it does mean for 3 minutes.
And LMK guy's taking a lot of damage. He got hit by the Splash Torrent and will fall down his bottom lane. He just got hit by a nice Shadow Blade crit from the Crystals, and he just melted. Nothing he could do about it. You didn't expect a Kunkka to be that far up. However, he was, and found an easy kill on LMK guy.
I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, he does have a sentry there, and you generally just pop the sentry when you know that there's his hero around. But the good thing about sentries is, unlike a smoke, you can just pop them down, so that way, if someone wants to move, particularly in this lane where they have no towers, I'm a little bit surprised to not see sentries just placed, you know, 1 or 2 sentries maybe just placed along the line, so that way, they know heroes who are trying to farm or who are trying to do something in that lane and get jumped on. I mean, now we see Gyrocopter in here, and if he was to get jumped on by Kunkka, he'd also take a lot of damage. Maybe not get killed, but it's still very annoying. And in fact, if Kanka and the Nature's Prophet jumped on him, he probably would die. So I'm surprised that they haven't just decided to place a last sentry since they know that there's a few Shadow Blades on the enemy side.
Man, Bloodtrunk's getting so aggressive right now. He's just walking through the forest, no teammates in sight, trying to find any pickoffs he can. I mean, that if that's not ballsy, I don't know what is. I mean, all his teammates are like very deep in their own territory, and he's just this far up. He's not afraid of anything. He wants to take on everyone. And he's got his Day Dallas recipe. Pardon me. He's got his Day Dallas recipe up and running. He'll have his Demon's Edge very shortly once that courier starts heading his way, or once it respawns. And we actually have a smoke up by TSG rotating down into this bottom river. There is a sentry ward here, but it's not going to be spotted out unless this scumbag Treant walks past, spots out the smoke. But will they see? Did they see him? Is another question. I don't think they did. Kanka could be in a lot of trouble. Do they have rev wards? They do have sentry wards up on Basket. They've got sentries down. They've got the ensnare and Bloodtrunk. This is what happens if you play too aggressive. You will be picked off by a nice smoke game by TSG. So that's what they needed to do, and they just need to keep finding these few pickoffs until they can get back into this game.
Yeah, the only annoying thing about this is Eduardo's just going to continue doing like these split pushes and whatnot. He won't be able to get this tower, and he's going to be scared off here by Miley Zero, and he's actually going to be picking up a lot of train kills there, which is, yeah, it does suck because it was a bit of extra goal and experience for him.
Tower is under attack.
But yeah, Eduardo's always going to be continuously annoying with that, as he will always split push and whatnot.
And we have heroes all over the place on the side of Zykon. Eduardo's in behind. He sheeps our LMK guy. Auto attacks LMK guy. No, he doesn't. He doesn't find a kill. Nice sleep trying to hold off them. And they're just going to retreat. This is a wise choice. If they tried to fight, they would have just got destroyed by Zykon. So it's a very nice move to get on out of there. They get a tier 1. They sleep on their way out. And very wise by TSG.
Yep. And in the mid lane, I believe Miley Zero also denied the mid tier 2 tower, which is a good play there by him. They said it was low, finished it off, and it sucks that they lost that tower because it just means, well, I certainly think that Bloodrunk is going to continue to play aggressively. Now, especially that he has his Daedalus, is going to start smoking up and moving around more, but denying a tower denies a lot of gold, and they can just continue ensuring that the farm's a little bit reduced.
And now
that's a massive stack.
Yeah, they always have a massive stack here. It's nice work by the Saluna consistently stacking this up, and that's probably about 3k gold, 3 to 4k gold she's earned for her team so far in this game, purely from stacks alone. And once again, we've at nighttime, they're grouping up near the secret shop, and then they're gonna smoke. This is very coordinated play. Oh, come on, smoke. Don't leave me hanging. There we go. We have that smoke. And this is very coordinated, precise timing by Zykon. This is the second time this match they've smoked in under that, just when it hit nighttime. So there's a lot less vision. They can get closer to enemies, and they can start these initiations so much faster. At the moment, though, there's only one hero that was in the jungle, so they're not going to find out that Miley Zero. But they can still find Affix if he's out of position. But no, actually they're going to come in. They spot out Miley Zero. They might get a X-Master spot. No, they're not even needed. Fiend Script. Auto attack 1. A few more auto attacks. And Nature's Prophet picks up the kill. And now TSG, they have to back. They can't do anything without their gyrocopter. Does he have buyback? He does have buyback. And I think they may force out the buyback very shortly. There it comes. Now they're pushing into tier 3 tower. Is there much TSG could do about this here? If Zykon decide to go ahead and continue this chipping out the tier 3.
They could. I'd say they'll be fine to defend that. They have another Titan who's great at ensuring that those pushes get basically shut down. It does suck that they forced out a buyback from the Gyrocopter, which is a big deal. And it looks like they might just want to go in onto another jump here just from this high ground. We do have a scouting Astral Spirit, the scout the Roshan. But yeah, now Zykon just waiting around, wanting to get the jump on the on TSG, but TSG just moving into their own jungle. They're sort of really starting to hold hands now. They realized there's not much we can do. We can't jump them because they're playing so defensively themselves. So we'll just hold hands and move around as well.
I think it's worthwhile for them to be holding hands at the moment, because if one of them lets go of someone else's hand, they're going to get hit by a truck on this road. I mean, Zykon, they're not going to let up. They've been so aggressive, and this is their style, and this is how they play it. When teams fall into Zykon's trap, Zykon makes you pay, and they'll just keep hammering you harder and harder. And this is where TSG is at the moment. They're going to have to stick together. They're going to start losing out on XP, losing out on gold, because you can't share your jungle the same creep camps between 5 heroes. It's just not going to work. And TSG, they're smoked up once again, and they're looking for another kill. They will walk across the sentry, but there's no heroes currently around. Smoke will be revealed, but do they know where those heroes are? Luckily, TSG go the right way, and they're going to get on out of there, and that's what they need. But actually, Bloodstroke, he's rotating around. He's found X-Master spot. Torrent, sleep. Very nice time. Sleep coming out by Bad Are they going to come? Yes, they do. Nice split earth coming out from that Elder Titan. But Rubik, he's already fallen in the backlines. Eclipse is doing a lot of damage. However, it's not. BKB is popped by -0. He's trying to man up. He will fall once that BKB falls. That's 4 heroes dead. Zykon, it looks like they will be taking game 1. They will be. So in this grand finals, game 1, Zykon will be winning. TSG, unfortunately, not being able to keep up with Zykon. And we will be going to game number 2.
Extremely well played there by Zykon. You know, they played to their usual strategy, initiated it perfectly, and they've taken game number 1 here. I'd just like to say thank you guys very much for watching. We'll be back very shortly with game number 2 here.